The rain fell heavy on the broken ground. The battlefield was silent now. But the silence was not peace. Smoke rose from the wreckage of machines, both human and alien. Fire still burned in the distance, and the smell of metal and blood filled the air. In the middle of this broken place, a woman sat in the water. Her clothes were torn, her hair wet, and her arms were tied around to small children. The children shivered, their faces pale. They looked afraid, their eyes searched the dark sky for danger. The woman was not human. Her skin was smooth, her eyes too bright, her movements too graceful. She was from another world, yet tonight she looked weaker than ever. Like a bird caught in the storm, she held her children close, as if they were her last reason to live. Through the rain, footsteps came, slow, heavy. Each step sank into the wet ground. A shadow appeared, tall and strong, a human soldier. His uniform was dirty from battle, his weapon ready in his hands. His face was hard, but his eyes were sharp and alive. He stopped when he saw her. His gun rose without thought. His orders were clear. No aliens should be left alive, no matter how weak, no matter how small. But his finger did not pull the trigger. Something in the sight before him made him pause. The woman's eyes locked with his. In that moment, there was no sound except the rain. She looked at him with fear, but also with hope. Then, with a voice soft and shaking, she spoke words that no human expected to hear. "My children are well behaved. I can be a good wife to you." Human. The soldier froze. His heart jumped. He had heard many alien voices, but never like this. The words were strange, desperate, almost begging. He wondered if his ears betrayed him. Why would she say such a thing? Why would an alien woman speak like a human woman from an old story? The children pressed closer to her, their small bodies trembling. Their wide eyes looked at the soldier, but they said nothing. Only the woman spoke. Only her voice broke the silence of the storm. She repeated herself, her tone breaking. "Please, my children are good. They will not cause trouble. I can serve you. I can care for you. Just spare us, human." The soldier's grip on his weapon tightened. His mind fought against his heart. He had seen aliens trick humans before. He had seen traps. He had seen lies. But this looked different. This woman was no warrior. She was broken, yet still holding on. He looked at the children again. They were thin, weak. Their eyes shined in the glow of the broken alien ship behind them. The ship still hummed with energy, its strange lights glowing in the dark rain. The water reflected the colors, red and blue, making the scene look unreal. The soldiers. Training told him to kill them. His orders were clear, yet something inside whispered that killing them would not be victory. It would only be cruelty. The woman moved slowly, raising her hand in the rain. She did not reach for a weapon. She only placed her hand on her chest, a sign of respect or surrender. Her lips trembled as she whispered again, "We can belong to you, human. Please, let us live." For a long moment, the soldier did not speak. He only stared. The rain hit his face. His uniform heavy with water. His eyes moved from the woman to her children, then back to her again. He felt a strange pull, not of desire, but of pity, of something deeper. It was the way she held the children, the way she tried to shield them. With her broken body, it was the way she lowered her pride, the way she begged even when it hurt her. This was no trap, he thought. This was desperation, pure and raw. The battlefield around them seemed to disappear. The fire, the smoke, the wrecks of machines, all faded from his mind in this moment. Only she and her children remained. Yet, still, he could not answer. He could not lower his gun, not yet. His heart battled his orders, his humanity battled his fear. The woman's eyes filled with tears. They mixed with the rain running down her cheeks. Her voice grew softer, weaker, Please, human. They have no father now. They only have me. If you kill me, they will not survive. If you spare us, we will follow you, we will obey. Please, I beg you." Her words cut through him. Sharper than any weapon, he felt his chest tighten, his breath heavy for the first time. Since the war began, the soldier hesitated. For the first time, his orders felt wrong. He stared at her in silence, his mind asking the question that the audience too must ask. Why would an alien woman beg like this? Why would she offer herself and her children to a human enemy? And deep inside, another question formed, a darker one. What secret hides behind her desperate plea? The rain did not stop. It washed over the woman's face. Her tears hidden in the storm. The human soldier still held his gun steady. Yet his heart was no longer steady. He could not pull the trigger, not when her words kept echoing inside his head. The widow looked at him, her voice trembling. "I lost everything. My home is gone. My husband is gone. My people betrayed us. I only have these children left." Her words were simple, but they carried the weight of a broken world. The soldier blinked, unsure if he should believe her. Aliens were not known for truth, not known for kindness, but her eyes, bright even in the rain, spoke of pain too deep to be a lie. She pulled her children closer, wrapping her arms around them like a shield. They pressed into her, their faces pale, their lips blue from the cold. They looked so small in this vast, broken battlefield, like flowers caught in fire. The soldier lowered his weapon, only slightly. "Why do you beg me? Why would you offer such words? Why me, a human?" Her lips trembled before she answered, "Because humans are different. Because you fight. But you also protect. I saw it before. Your soldiers take care of their weak. They're old, they're young. My people, they do not." Her voice grew sharper, her pain spilling out. "When my husband died, my own people left us to starve," they said. "A widow and her children were useless. They said we were only a burden. I ran into the dark. And then the war found us, and now I have nowhere left." Her words cracked like glass. She bent her head, her wet hair falling over her face. Her children clung to her, one pressing his cheek to her shoulder, the other holding her hand tight. The soldier's eyes narrowed. He wanted to stay strong, to stay cold, but her words burned in his chest. He thought of Earth. He thought of his own family far away. His mother, his sister, the children in his village. Would he ever abandon them in such a way? Never. The widow raised her head again. Her eyes locked with his, fierce despite her tears. "You can kill us now, or you can let us live. If you let us live, I will serve you. I will be your wife. My children will obey you. We will not fight you. We only want to survive." Her voice was steady now, though soft. Her children looked at her in shock, perhaps too young to understand her words, but they understood the fear in her tone. The soldier's heart twisted. Was this love? No, it was survival. Was this a trap? No, it was desperation. Still, he could not understand why she trusted humans more than her own kind. He glanced at the wreck of her alien ship. Lights still blinked, strange symbols glowing faintly. The ground around it pulsed with energy. He wondered what secrets it still held. He wondered if this widow had hidden something there. But then her voice pulled him back. "I beg you, human, do not leave us to die. My children are good. They will not trouble you. They will listen to your word as if it is law. Just please." Her voice cracked again, softer than the rain. The soldier's hand shook on his weapon. His mind was torn in two. His orders demanded blood. His soul demanded mercy. He could almost hear the voice of his commander. Do not trust them. Do not let pity weaken you. But he could also hear another voice, his own. If I kill her, I kill not an enemy, but a mother. If I kill the children, I kill not warriors, but innocents. The silence between them stretched long. Only the storm spoke. Only the fire hissed in the distance. The widow bowed her head again, her voice falling low. "If you kill me, but let the children live. Please, take them with you. Let them see another day." The soldier felt his chest tighten. His hand lowered, slowly, carefully. The barrel of his gun pointed down into the water. His breath heavy, his heart pounding. He did not speak, but his silence was an answer. The widow's eyes widened, a flicker of hope breaking through her sorrow. She pulled her children even closer, whispering to them in a language the soldier did not know. But he understood the tone. It was comfort. It was love. It was survival. For the first time in this war, he saw not an alien, but a family. He saw not an enemy. But people, still deep in his mind, a question remained sharp as a blade. Why did she choose this path? Why beg to belong to a human? Why trust him more than her own kind, as the storm raged around them? The soldier knew this was not the end of the story. It was the beginning. Something larger moved behind her words. Something hidden, something dangerous. And as her children looked at him with silent eyes, he wondered, were they truly helpless? Or was there more to their story? More than even she wished to say. The soldier stood in the rain, his gun lowered but not forgotten. His eyes stayed fixed on the widow and her children. His heart wanted to trust, but his mind screamed caution. The children pressed close to their mother. They looked fragile, thin. Their clothes torn and wet, their eyes followed the soldier, wide and silent. But there was something about their eyes that unsettled him. They seemed too bright, too sharp for children so weak. The soldier took a step closer. His boots splashed in the shallow water. The widow flinched, pulling her children tighter against her. He raised his hand slowly, not to strike, but to test. He wanted to see their reaction. The youngest child whimpered. The older one did not. Instead, the older child stared at him. Calm. To calm. The soldier froze. That gaze felt heavy, like it carried something more than innocence. His training shouted inside him. Be careful. Be alert. Even the weak may carry danger. He had seen traps before. He had seen alien soldiers use children as bait. He had seen desperate tricks to lure humans close. He took another step back. His gun rose slightly again, his eyes sharp, his breath steady. The widow shook her head quickly, her voice breaking. Please do not fear them. They are only children. They are hungry. They are cold. They mean you no harm. Her voice carried truth, but also panic. She knew his suspicion. She knew one wrong move could end everything. Her body trembled as she spoke, her words desperate to convince him. But the soldier's eyes drifted again to the wreck behind them. The alien ship glowed faintly, strange energy pulsing like a heartbeat. It was not dead. It was alive, humming, watching. He felt the hair on his neck rise. He turned his gaze back to the widow. Why stay here? Why hide near a ship like that? You could have run far. You could have left this place. Her lips pressed tight. Her silence was an answer. He saw it. She was hiding something. He stepped closer again, his gun steady. Tell me the truth. Is there something in that ship? Something you want? Something dangerous? Her eyes widened. Her voice cracked. No, no. Only death waits there. We hid because the rain was heavy. Because the ground was flooded. That is all. But her eyes betrayed her. They flicked toward the ship for only a second, yet he caught it. That 1 second told him more than her words. Suspicion grew in his chest like fire. He stared at the children again. Their eyes glowed faintly in the ship's light. Were they sick? Were they touched by the machine? Or were they more than children? Fear gnawed at him. Not only fear of them, but fear of himself. If he was wrong, if he killed them without reason, his soul would carry the weight forever. If he trusted too easily, and they betrayed him, his death would be quick and cruel. The widow's voice broke his thoughts. She pushed her children behind her, her arms wide. Please, human. I beg you again. We are not your enemies. I only wish to keep my children alive. I will do anything, but do not harm them. Her words echoed in his mind. He believed her pain, but not her silence. There was a shadow she did not share, something hidden between her truth and her lies. The soldier lowered his weapon a little, but his stance remained hard. If I help you, if I let you live, you must prove it. You must show me you are no danger. The widow nodded quickly. Her tears mixed with the rain. Yes, yes, I will prove it. Whatever test you ask, I will do it. Her children clung to her clothes, their small fingers shaking, their faces pale, yet that strange calmness remained in their gaze. Silent, watchful, like they carried secrets too large for their age. The soldier's heart battled his orders again. Every second stretched long. Suspicion wrapped around him. Like chains, fear whispered in his ear. Trust whispered in the other. The storm raged louder. Lightning flashed in the distance. Thunder rolled across the ruined land. The ship behind them hummed again, stronger this time. The light grew brighter. Glowing across the water, the soldier raised his gun once more, pointing it at the ship, his voice cold. If you lie, if there is danger inside, I will not spare it, nor you, the widow gasped, her arms tightening around her children. Her face pale as she shook her head. No, please, stay away. Do not wake it. Do not make it angry. Her words struck him. Wake it, angry. Those were not the words of someone who claimed the ship was dead. The soldier's suspicion turned to certainty. There was something alive within that wreck, something she feared, something she hid. His eyes narrowed as he looked back at her, his voice sharp. You are not telling me everything, widow. If I am to keep you alive, I must know the truth. What waits inside that ship? What have you brought to me? The widow trembled. Her children pressed close. Her lips opened, but no words came. Only silence, only fear. The soldier gripped his weapon, his finger ready, his heart heavy. And in that moment, both he and the audience knew. This was no simple plea for mercy. This was something greater, something darker. The battlefield was silent, except for the rain, but inside that silence, suspicion grew into dread. The rain grew heavier, drumming on metal, on stone, on skin. The battlefield seemed drowned in water, yet the soldier felt no calm. His eyes locked on the wrecked alien ship, glowing faintly in the storm. The hum was stronger now, like the heartbeat of a sleeping giant. The widow clutched her children tightly. She shook her head again and again, her voice breaking. Please, human, do not go near. It is not safe. It is cursed. It is alive. The soldier's grip on his weapon tightened. His suspicion deepened. Her fear was too sharp, too real. She knew something. She was hiding more than her tears. The children pressed into her side. The older one stared at the soldier, silent, still. The younger whimpered softly, eyes darting to the ship as if it could hear, as if it could see. The soldier stepped closer to the wreck. His boots splashed in the shallow water. The lights from the broken vessel flickered across his face, red and blue shadows dancing in his eyes. He felt heat rising from the metal even in the cold rain. He turned back toward the widow, his voice low but hard. Tell me what waits inside. Tell me why you fear it. Tell me why you stayed here instead of running far away. Her lips trembled, her body shook. She held her children so tight that they whimpered from the pressure. Still, she whispered, it listens, it remembers, it does not forgive. The soldier's breath caught. Her words were no simple fear. They were warnings. Warnings of something alive, something awake. He raised his gun toward the ship, but before he could fire, the older child suddenly spoke. His voice was calm. Too calm for a child. If you hurt it, it will hurt you. If you wake it, it will never sleep again. The soldier froze. His eyes snapped to the child. The words were not shouted, not pleaded. They were stated like fact, like truth carved in stone. The widow pulled the boy close, covering his mouth, her eyes wide. With terror, "Do not speak, do not say such things," she hissed. But the damage was done. The soldier had heard. His suspicion turned into dread. He stepped back slowly, his weapon still raised. His eyes darted between the widow, her children, and the ship. The storm roared around them. Yet inside him, a deeper storm raged. What were these children? Were they touched by the ship? Were they born of it? Or were they simply innocent mouths repeating what they should not know? The widow's voice cracked as she begged again. "Please. Human, we are not your enemies. We are only broken. We are only survivors. Do not bring its wrath upon us. Please." Her words cut the air like knives. Her tears mixed with the rain. She looked like a mother at the edge of death, but her secrets made her shadow larger than her frame. The soldier's finger trembled on the trigger. Every instinct told him to destroy the ship. Every instinct told him it was a threat. But another voice whispered, "What if it is not the ship you should fear? What if it is them?" He turned his gaze again to the children. Their eyes glowed faintly, reflecting the alien lights. The older child's calm face unsettled him more than the storm. The younger one whimpered. But even that whimper felt rehearsed, controlled. He took another step back, his voice sharp. "What are they, widow? What have you given birth to? Are they truly children? Or are they something else?" The widow gasped, her voice fierce for the first time. "They are mine. They are my children. They are all I have left. Do not call them monsters. Do not call them things." Her sudden fire made him pause. She looked like a cornered animal, ready to fight to the death for her young. Yet her fear of the ship remained, a fear greater than her fear of him. The hum of the wreck grew louder. The lights pulsed stronger. The ground beneath them vibrated as if something below stirred. The soldier's breath came heavy, his chest tight. He realized then that the battlefield was not as silent as it seemed. The storm covered many sounds, but under it all, a deeper sound whispered, a whisper of voices, not human, not natural. A chorus inside the hum, faint but real. The soldier's blood ran cold. He looked again at the widow. Her face told him she knew. Her silence told him she had lived with that whisper. For too long, his weapon shook in his hands. His training screamed. End it now, destroy it, destroy them. But his humanity whispered, wait, listen, understand before you choose. The widow's tears flowed freely now. Her voice broke as she begged, please, human, spare us. Leave the ship, do not wake it. If you do, none of us will survive. Not you, not me, not even my children. Her words twisted inside him. The storm raged. The whispers from the ship grew clearer. The children's glowing eyes watched him without fear. He felt trapped between duty and mercy, between fear and curiosity, between orders and the unknown. One truth became clear. He was no longer only a soldier. He had stepped into something greater. A secret written in shadows and storm. The battlefield was dead. But something inside that wreck still lived, and the widow, with her glowing-eyed children, was bound to it, tied to it in ways he did not yet understand, and as lightning split the sky. The soldier knew one thing. This was not the end. This was the beginning of a deeper mystery, a secret that could change the war, a secret that could change what it meant to be human. The storm did not end. The sky was dark. The ground was flooded. and the air shook with the hum of the alien wreck. The soldier stood between two worlds. His weapon was heavy in his hands, his heart heavier in his chest. Before him knelt the widow, her arms wrapped around her children, her face pale, her voice weak, but her eyes still burning with desperate hope. Behind her loomed the ship, alive in its silence, its lights pulsing like veins, its whisper crawling into the soldier's ears. The soldier's orders echoed in his mind. Kill the enemy, destroy what remains. Trust nothing alien. He had lived by those words for years. He had survived battles where mercy was death. He had seen comrades fall because they trusted too soon. And yet, here he stood, unable to pull the trigger. The widow's plea replayed again and again. My children are well behaved. I can be a good wife to you. Human, please. Let us live. Her words did not sound like strategy. They sounded like broken truth. The voice of a mother who had nothing left to give but her pride. The soldier stepped closer, his eyes sharp, his voice low. If I help you, if I let you live, you must prove you are no danger. You must show me your loyalty. Do you understand? The widow nodded quickly, her tears mixed with the rain. Yes, I will prove it. I will serve you. My children will obey you. We will belong to you if it means survival. Her children clung tighter, silent, their glowing eyes fixed on him. The older one calm, the younger one trembling like a leaf in the storm. The soldier's hand shook on his weapon. He raised it again, this time not at the widow, but at the ship, his voice sharp. And what of that? What of the machine behind you? If I let you live, that thing will not. I will destroy it. The widow's scream cut through the storm. No, please, do not. If you destroy it, you destroy us, too. Her words struck him like lightning. He froze, his fingers stopped, his mind spinning. What do you mean? How are you tied to it? The widow pressed her children close, her voice breaking. We are bound. Human. Its energy runs through us. It marked us when my husband died. It touched us. It claimed us. If it dies, we die. The soldier felt his heart drop. The truth was clear now. This was no simple family. They were linked to the alien wreck. They were survivors, yes, but also something more. Something twisted by the ship. He stepped back slowly, his voice rough. So if I follow my orders, if I destroy that ship, you die too. The widow bowed her head. Her tears fell, her voice soft. Yes. But if you spare us, if you walk away, we will live. We will follow you. We will not harm you. Please, human. Choose mercy. The soldier's soul split in two. On one side stood duty, orders, loyalty to his people. On the other stood compassion, humanity, the raw face of a mother and her children. The storm raged louder. Lightning lit the sky. Thunder shook the ground. The ship's hum grew stronger, as if it listened, as if it waited for his decision. The soldier thought of his home, his family far away. He thought of his commander's face, of the battles yet to come. If he spared them, he could be punished, even executed. But if he killed them, he would never escape the memory, never escape the shame. The widow's voice rose again, softer this time. I beg you, human. You are strong, you are merciful. Do not let the war steal that from you. Let us live. We can serve. We can belong to you. Her words cut deeper than any blade. He looked at her children again, their faces pale, their bodies thin. They were alive, but only barely. The soldier lowered his weapon, his breath heavy, his eyes burning. He had made his choice. He stepped forward, his voice firm. Stand, widow. You and your children will come with me. I will not kill you, but if you betray me, if you bring harm to my people, I will end you myself. The widow gasped. Her tears flowed freely. She bowed her head low, her voice trembling. Thank you, human. You will not regret this. I swear it. You saved us, and now we are yours." Her children clung to her, relief flooding their small faces for the first time. The younger one smiled faintly. The older one only watched, calm, still to calm. The soldier turned his gaze once more to the wreck. The hum grew louder, the lights pulsed brighter. It was as if the ship itself mocked him, as if it knew he had broken his orders. As if it whispered promises he could not yet understand. But he turned away, his hands steady on his weapon, his steps firm. The widow and her children followed, their shadows stretching in the storm's light. He had chosen humanity over duty, compassion over cruelty, yet deep in his heart he knew this choice was not the end. It was the beginning, for if they were bound to the ship, then so was he now, if he had spared them. He had spared its secret too, and as they walked into the storm, the soldier wondered, had he saved lives, or had he just invited something darker into his own? The storm calmed as night fell. The battlefield was no longer loud, only quiet, broken by the hiss of rain on cooling fire. The soldier led the way, his weapons still ready. The widow and her children followed, their steps soft in the wet ground. They walked past wrecked machines, broken helmets and shattered flags. The land was a graveyard, but the children's eyes still searched it with silent curiosity. The widow moved close to them, keeping her hands on their shoulders as if one wrong step would steal them away. The soldier did not speak for a long time. His mind burned with questions, but his heart refused to ask them yet. He had chosen to spare them. But trust was still far away. At last, he stopped near the ruins of a stone wall. It gave some cover from the storm. He lowered his pack, lit a small flame with shaking hands. The fire flickered weakly, casting shadows across their faces. The widow sat with her children close. She looked at the soldier carefully, her voice soft. "You saved us, human. You chose mercy. My children will not forget. I will not forget." The soldier kept his eyes on the fire, his jaw tight. "Do not mistake me. Widow, I spared you, but I still do not trust you. You said you are tied to that ship. You said if it dies, you die. That makes you dangerous to me." Her lips pressed into a thin line, but she nodded slowly. "Yes, dangerous, but only because of what was done to us, not because of what we choose. We did not ask for this bond. It was forced on us. The ship took my husband's life. Then it marked us. It made us something different, but it did not make us evil." Her words were soft, but the weight behind them was heavy. The soldier glanced at the children. The older boy stared back at him, calm, quiet, to knowing. The younger leaned into his mother, his eyes half closed with exhaustion. The soldier muttered under his breath, "Different is enough to make you a threat." The widow lowered her gaze, her voice cracked. "Maybe to your people, yes, but to you, I swear, we will be nothing but loyal. You spared us. You gave us life. That makes you our protector. That makes you our anchor now." Her words were strange to him. Strange, but heavy. Protector, anchor. They were not the words of an enemy. They were the words of someone willing to kneel to survive. The soldier turned his face away. His chest felt heavy. He did not want her devotion. He only wanted the truth. Silence filled the ruined wall. The fire crackled softly. The storm eased to a drizzle. In the shadows, the widow hummed softly, a sound like a lullaby. Her children leaned against her, their breathing slow. The soldier listened without meaning to. The song was alien, the words unknown. Yet the tone touched him. It was sorrowful, but gentle. It was the sound of a mother trying to hold the world together for her children. Even when it was falling apart, he looked at her in the firelight, her face tired, her eyes closed as she sang. The glow of the flames softened her sharp features. For a moment, she did not look like a stranger. She looked like a mother, fragile but fierce. The soldier turned back to the fire quickly, his heart uneasy. He had not felt this way in years. Not during the war, not after the blood, not after. The screams. When the widow stopped singing, she opened her eyes and looked at him. Her voice was barely a whisper. You could have killed us, but you did not. You could have walked away, but you stayed. You are not like the others, human. The soldier's grip tightened on his weapon, his voice low. Do not mistake kindness for weakness. Widow, I chose mercy, but I will not choose it twice if you betray me. Her eyes shimmered in the firelight. She nodded slowly. Then I will never betray you. I would rather die than lose this second chance. The children stirred. The older boy opened his eyes and spoke softly. We belong to him now, mother. We will follow him. The soldier's heart skipped. The calmness in the boy's tone was not the voice of a child. It was too steady, too sure. The widow stroked his hair quickly, silencing him, her face pale with unease. The soldier said nothing, but suspicion grew again in his chest. These children were not ordinary. He could feel it in their eyes, in their words. In the silence that followed, night grew colder. The soldier sat awake, his back against the wall, his weapon on his lap, his eyes half watching the fire, half watching the widow and her children as they slept. He told himself it was caution, but deep down he knew it was more. It was the bond forming without his permission. It was the seed of something he did not want to name. The storm moved far away. The battlefield grew still. Only the whispers of the alien ship echoed faintly in his ears, carried by the wind. The widow stirred in her sleep, whispering words too soft to catch. The soldier leaned slightly closer, his ears sharp, and then he heard it. Her voice low, trembling. He believes us. He protects us. Soon he will protect us from them all. The soldier's breath froze. His hand clenched his weapon. His heart pounded like thunder. Was she dreaming, or was she confessing? The fire burned low. The night closed in, and the bond that had begun to grow now felt like a chain tightening around his neck. The fire had almost died. The soldier sat in the shadows, his weapon across his knees, his eyes never fully closing, his ears never resting. The widow and her children slept close together, their bodies pressed against the cold wall. But her whisper still echoed inside his head. He believes us. He protects us soon. He will protect us from them all. Those words burned like fire. Were they the words of a dream or the confession of a plan? The soldier did not know, but he could not forget. The night stretched long. The storm drifted far away. Silence ruled the broken battlefield. Yet the silence was not peace. It was the silence of secrets. The soldier's eyes moved to the older child. The boy slept with strange stillness. His body to calm, his face to steady. Even in sleep, his eyes twitched with faint light, like stars hidden beneath skin. The younger child shifted in his mother's arms, innocent, fragile, human-like. But the older one was different. The soldier tightened his grip on his weapon, his heart heavy. He told himself he had chosen mercy. But he wondered if mercy had chosen him, if it had trapped him, if it had bound him to something larger than himself. As dawn broke, the sky turned gray. The widow opened her eyes first. She looked at him with quiet relief. You did not leave us, human. You did not kill us in the night. Her voice carried gratitude. But the soldier heard something else beneath it. Not only gratitude, but certainty, as if she had known he would not. He did not answer. He only rose. His body stiff from the long night. He kicked dirt over the fire. His voice sharp. We move. The children stirred, their faces pale, their clothes still wet from the storm. They followed closely behind her as she stood. She bowed her head. Slightly. We follow you, protector. The word cut him again. Protector. It was not a name he wanted, but it was the name she gave. They walked across the battlefield, stepping around wrecks and bones. The morning light revealed the full ruin of war. Metal twisted, towers broken, rivers of mud where fields once grew. It was a grave for both human and alien. The widow carried her younger child. The older one walked without stumbling, his eyes sharp, watching everything. He did not speak, but the soldier felt his gaze, steady, searching. After hours of silence, the soldier stopped, his voice low. "Why do you trust humans so much? Your kind fought us, killed us. Why would you beg me for mercy? Why would you tie yourself to me?" The widow's steps slowed. She looked at the ground, her voice heavy. "Because my own kind left me, because they left my children to starve. They chose war over us. They chose pride over mercy. Humans fight. Yes, but humans also protect. I saw it before. I saw it when your soldiers carried their wounded, when they buried their dead with care. My people would never. That is why I begged you. That is why I trust you." Her words shook him. They were raw. They were sharp. He wanted to believe them. He almost did. But her whisper from the night haunted him. The sun rose higher. The soldier searched for a safe place. A human outpost was miles away, and his rations were running low. He glanced at the widow. She looked tired but strong, her children hungry, but quiet. At last, they reached the edge of a forest, trees bent in the wind, their branches sharp against the gray sky. The soldier stopped, his voice low. "We rest here. We move at night." The widow nodded. Her children sat near the roots of a broken tree. She gave them pieces of dried food from her pack. They ate slowly, silently. The soldier watched, his eyes heavy, his mind heavier. For a moment, it almost felt normal. A family sharing food under broken trees. But he knew better. He knew nothing about this was normal. When night came again, the soldier stayed awake, his body still, his eyes sharp. The widow lay with her children close, her lips moving in whispers he could barely hear. He leaned closer, the sound of her voice low. This time, her words were clearer. "He will protect us. He will guard us. He will carry us into their walls. They will not see. They will not know. We will live again." The soldier's chest froze. His hand tightened on his weapon. His heart thundered. It was no dream. It was no slip of tongue. It was her plan. She was using him, using his humanity, using his pity to walk into his people's stronghold, to carry her children, her secrets, her bond with the alien ship into human walls. The soldier's eyes burned, his soul twisted. He wanted to shout, to confront her, but he stayed silent. His mind raced, his choices narrowed. If he killed them now, the secret would die here. If he spared them, if he carried them home, the secret would live. It would live inside his people's walls. It would live inside their future. The widow's voice faded as sleep took her. Her children pressed close. The older one's glowing eyes opened for just a moment, staring straight at him, calm, certain, knowing. The soldier's heart pounded. The forest around him felt too quiet, the night too heavy. He realized then that his choice had not ended. It had only begun, for in sparing them, he had not saved lives. He had opened a door to something his people would never forgive, something they could never control. The soldier sat in the darkness, his weapon trembling in his hands, his breath cold, his eyes locked on the family he had chosen to protect. And in that moment, he understood. The widow's plea was never only about mercy. It was about survival, about infiltration, about something greater than him, greater than war. He was no longer only a soldier. He was a key, a shield, a path. The night whispered with the hum of the alien wreck. Far away but alive, and the soldier knew. The real war had not ended. The real war had just begun.